right, let's keep going with our grammar workbook. Today we are doing level 2 because it's Tuesday. Mondays is level 1, Tuesdays is level 2. Today in level 2, we're going to be looking at another irregular verb. We've been learning about our irregulars. We've done the biep, the digit, the liel, and now we're going to look at the irregular. This one right here on page 28. This one's pretty common as well, so it's a good one to know. So this irregular verb happens with verbs that end on this final sound, like apda, sepda, yepda, etc. These are all irregular verbs. And they go through a kind of interesting irregular transformation, which is sort of explained a little bit in the textbook, but to give it a quick explanation here, usually when you're looking at conjugating, you look at the final vowel sound, right? You look at this last vowel sound. For these irregular verbs, you actually look at the second to last vowel sound to determine whether you add ayo or oyo. So we know that if something ends in o or a, you add ayo. Hada becomes heyo, and anything else you add oyo. So the funny thing about these irregular verbs is that you look at the second to last vowel sound to determine what to do. So let's do the first example to see what we're talking about here. So this verb apda means to be sick, or it could also be like injured, or like hurt in a physical way, or it can mean sick. So this one, see how this second to last vowel sound is ah. So what happens is this turns into an ah sound because of the second to last vowel sound. So when you do it in the present tense, it becomes apayo. It becomes apayo. But let's look at this one. B is sepda. This means to be sad. To be sad. And because the second to last, let me highlight it. The second to last vowel sound is right? It's not o or a, and it's not ha, not hada. So it becomes oyo. Silpoyo is what it becomes in the present tense. All right. Let's look at this next one. This next one is yepda. Yepda means to be pretty or cute. And the second to last vowel sound is yeah, right? So it's not o, it's not a. So it becomes oyo. Yeah. Yepoyo is the present tense of this verb. Okay. Next we have papda. Papda means to be busy. To be busy. And here, notice this time the second to last vowel sound is pa, ah. It's an ah sound, so it's gonna become ayo because it's one of these two vowel sounds. So papda becomes papayo. Papayo is I am busy. I am busy is papayo. This is I am hurt. This is I am sad, etc. I am pretty. Things like that. This next one, kiga kuda. Does anyone know what this verb means? Kiga kuda. Kiga kuda. The picture is a little bit of a clue. To be tall, Zoe. Yeah, perfect. It means to be tall. Ki is height, and kuda means to be large. So literally it means to have a large height or to be tall. Now, When you have a verb that only is one syllable long, there is no second to last syllable, right? So it always becomes koyo. You always add oyo if there's only one syllable. So kiga koyo is I am tall. Kiga koyo. I am fairly tall. I'm like 5'8" or so I'm fairly tall. So I could say 저는 키가 커요. I'm tall. This next one is 배가 고프다. 배가 고프다. This one means to be hungry. You might have heard people say in dramas like 배고파. 배고파 means I'm hungry. And here we have a final all sound. This all sound means that we add 어요. 배가 고파요. In the present tense, I am hungry. All right, we've got a couple more here. This one, 쓰다. 쓰다 has a lot of usages, a lot of meanings. One of these is to write. And we want to put it in the past tense. How do you do it in the past tense? The same rule applies as this one, since it's only one vowel sound, or one syllable long here before the ta. It's going to become 어요, and then, so we're going to have 서 first, and then to make this into the past tense, we add our double shiet, and then another 어요 at the end. So 썼어요 is this verb in the past tense. This means I wrote something. Next one, 아프다. We had this earlier, right? It means to be sick. But how would you say I was sick in the past tense? Well, we know it becomes 아파, right? And then to put this into the past tense, we add our double shiet and we add our 어요. 아팠어요. 아팠어요 means I was sick or hurt or injured. 아팠어요. And lucky last, we have 바쁘다 again. This means to be busy. How do you say it in the future tense? The future tense, the reason this is highlighted is because it was covered in level 1. So to do level 1 with the future tense. Now, what's tricky about this one here is that this irregular only happens if you're connecting a conjugation, a grammar conjugation, starting with either ayo or oyo, sort of a or o. So like a oyo, a o so, a ojida, a o poda. These ones, all these grammar forms are the only time that this irregular happens. If it's just conjugating with other grammar forms, it just stays the same. So the liel goes at the bottom. Pape, ko, ye, yo. So because we're not conjugating anything starting with a or o, we do a regular conjugation. That one's a little bit tricky. But this means I will be busy. I will be busy. Okay, let's look at some multiple choice questions. The first one here is the irregular conjugation occurs when verb stems ending in are conjugated with a grammar form starting with a consonant sound. 1, is it true? Or 2, is it false? So does it happen when conjugating with grammar forms starting with consonant sounds? True or false? The answer here, if you kind of know how this one works, I talked about it just at the end of this last exercise. The answer here is false, right? It happens when conjugating with vowels, specifically a and o. So if a grammar form is starting with a or o, and that's what you're conjugating, that is when this irregular takes place. B, if the verb stem is only one syllable long, for example, 쓰다 or 크다, you always attach 어요 when conjugating into the present tense. Is that a different language? Yes, it is Korean. So if it's only one syllable long, you attach oyo always. This is true. Yes, Miss Blonde. This one is true. So 쓰다 always becomes 써요, and 크다 always becomes 커요. Another one is like this one. That means like to turn on. That becomes 커요, or is that to turn off? Maybe I always get them mixed up. All right, it's one of the two. C. When conjugated into the 아어요 present tense, the verb 크다, to be big, becomes 1. 크어요, 2. 크아요, 3. 커요, or 4. 가요. I just kind of gave it away, right? This answer is kind of been given to you. But yes, the correct answer is 3. It should be 커요. D. When conjugating into the present tense, if the verb stem is more than one syllable long, for example, 아프다, 슬프다, then you choose between 아요 or 어요 based on 1. The final vowel sound, 2. Final vowel sound in the verb stem, 2. The final vowel sound in the second to last syllable, or 3. The final consonant. Which one is it here? So you've got an irregular verb, right, like 아프다 or 슬프다. You want to put it into the present tense. Where do you look? Where do you look? Is it the final vowel sound in the verb stem? Is it the final vowel sound in the second to last syllable? Or is it the final consonant? This one's a little bit tricky, but essentially you look at the second to last vowel verb stem. So if you're looking at 아프다, it's this this one here, that determines whether you add 어요 or 아요. That's what makes these guys a little bit special. So 아프다, because the second to last vowel sound is it becomes 아파요. But the 슬프다, because the second to last vowel sound is it's not or o. This one becomes 슬퍼요. Cool. Yeah, we're changing these irregular verbs into the present tense. 아이고, indeed. These ones are tricky. E. When conjugated into the 아어요 present tense, the verb 아프다 becomes 1. 아프요, 2. 아파요, or 3. 아파요. This one again I just gave away, so it's a free question for you guys. But of course the correct answer is 2. It's 아파요. And again, it's because of this second to last syllable. It's because of this one here. F. When conjugated into 아어요 present tense, the verb 슬프다, to be sad, becomes 1. 슬퍼요, 2. 슬프요, or 3. 슬파요. What does 슬프다 become? 1. Desiree. Perfect. Yes. This one becomes 슬퍼요. All right. So now let's do some translation exercises. This first one, A. Given the Korean sentences, write an equivalent English expression. Wait, A. 그 영화가 슬퍼요. 그 영화가 슬퍼요. What does this sentence mean? Let me just I'll zoom in a little bit. So 슬퍼요 means to be sad, right? We saw this before. What is sad? Well, that movie. That 영화 is movie. And notice that we have the subject particle, right? Because 슬프다 is a descriptive verb. So that movie is sad. That movie is sad. Or the movie is sad. Sometimes 그 is also translated to the. That's also possible as well. What determines a or o? Is it vowel versus consonant? It is the vowel. It is the vowel. B. 이 공원이 예뻐요. 이 공원이 예뻐요. 예뻐요 means to be pretty. It comes from the verb 예쁘다. And 이 공원 means this 공원. 공원 is a park. BTS, yeah, perfect. This park is pretty. This park is pretty. C. 오늘은 제임스가 바빠요. 오늘은 제임스가 바빠요. What does this mean? 오늘은 means as for today. Today, James, it's someone's name, James, is 바빠요. 바빠요 comes from the verb 바쁘다, which means to be busy. So, James is busy today. Yeah, or today James is busy. Both of those are perfectly good. James is busy today, or today James is busy. D. 우리 강아지가 아팠어요. 우리 강아지가 아팠어요. 우리 means we or my. This one's a little tricky because 우리 literally means we, but you could also use it to mean my in some circumstances. 강아지 is a dog or a puppy. And then 아팠어요 is to be sick. It comes from the verb 아프다, and it's in the past tense, so was sick. So our dog was sick, or my dog, I'm going to do my/our dog was sick. You could also say puppy instead of dog as well. Both of those are good. Care also means dog, but 강아지 is just a little bit of a nicer word, a little bit of a cuter word. E. 배가 고플 거예요. 배가 고플 거예요. What is this word 배? Does anyone know? This word 배 has a lot of meanings, but what does it mean here? I will be hungry, yes. 배가 고프다 means to be hungry. So I will, this 거예요 is the future tense. I will be hungry. 루얼링, yes. 배 means stomach. Valeria, yes. 배 means stomach. 배 can also mean boat, and it can also mean pear. Like the Korean pear is also pear. So pear has a couple different meanings, but here it means stomach. All right, now let's go the other way. Let's go from English into Korean. This first one, A. How do you say I am sad? I am sad in Korean. The verb to be sad is 슬프다. 슬프다 is to be sad. So how do you say I am sad? We'll talk about ourselves. We can say 저는, right? I 저는, am sad. We've got to put this in the present tense. Desiree, BTS, Valeria, yes. 슬퍼요, right? It becomes 어요 because of the second to last vowel sound is this It's not a or 어, so it becomes 퍼요. 저는 슬퍼요. I'm sad. B. My mom is busy. My mom is busy. Now there's a little footnote here that when you're talking about family members, you should use 우리 to mean my. 우리 literally means we, but when you're talking about family members, you should say 우리 엄마. It's a little bit more natural than saying 제 엄마. You can say 제 엄마 and people will understand you, but 우리 엄마 is more natural. So 우리 엄마가 busy comes from the verb 바쁘다. 바쁘다 becomes 바빠요. 바빠요, right? Because of this final vowel sound. The second to last vowel sound is 아, so it becomes 바빠요. 우리 엄마가 바빠요. C. My girlfriend is pretty. My girlfriend is pretty. What is girlfriend in Korean? There's a couple different ways. The two main ways you can say is 여자친구, or if you're being more casual, you can say 여친. 여친 is also like it's a short form of 여자친구, but I'm going to write it out fully. And you can also say 우리 here. You can say 우리 when talking about my girlfriend. 우리 여자친구가 예뻐요. 예쁘다 is another irregular verb, and it becomes 예뻐요. Could it also be 제 여자친구가 예뻐요? Yes. You could also say 제 여자친구 as well. You can say either one. In general, using 우리 kind of gives a more friendly, closer feeling. Using 제 often gives like a more distant feeling, a more formal feeling. It's a more of an honorific feeling. So when you're talking about your girlfriend, it gives a closer feeling to say 우리 여자친구, but you can say either depending on the situation. All right. My boyfriend is tall. My boyfriend is tall. So again, you can use 우리 or 제. And then to say boyfriend, that's 남자친구. So literally it's the same as English. 여자 is girl and 친구 is friend. So girlfriend, and 남자친구 is also boy, 남자, and 친구, friend. So 우리 남자친구가. And then to be tall, good work everybody. You guys have got it beautifully. That is 키가 커요. That comes from the verb 키가 크다, which means to be tall. And in the present tense, because this is only one syllable long, it becomes 커요. All right, D or E. My dad writes books. My dad writes books. How would you say that? Well, again, for my, we're going to use 우리. With family members, again, it's more natural to use 우리 instead of 제. Gives a sort of closer feel. 우리 아빠가. 우리 아빠가. Now, a book in Korean is 책. 책. Right? Because writing books is an action, so you need the object particle. Welcome in, anyway. And then 아빠가 책을. Now to write is 쓰다. 쓰다. This also is only one syllable wrong, like this 스. So it becomes always 어요, 써요. 우리 아빠가 책을 써요. My dad writes books. Beautiful. F. How would you say I was sick yesterday? Now this one is a past tense one, right? So be careful of that. We've got to put it in the past tense. We're talking about ourselves, so you can start by saying 저는. This is optional, right? You don't have to say 저는, but we'll put it there. 저는 어제. 어제 is yesterday. What's the difference between 이쁘다 and 예쁘다? 이쁘다 is a kind of a colloquialism. It's a more modern word. People have started saying it because it sort of sounds cuter. But 예쁘다 is like the dictionary correct form of to be pretty. But 이쁘다 is very commonly used. I think particularly in Seoul. I think it's kind of a Seoul dialect thing. But I think it's used throughout Korea as well. Yeah, 이쁘다 versus 예쁘다. 저는 어제. Now to be sick is 아프다, right? So we know it becomes 아파 because of this final second to last vowel sound is 아. And so now we have 아팠어요 to put it in the past tense. Do time prepositions go right after the subject? So Korean, it's fairly loose with where you put your time words. You could put this first. You could say 어제 저는 아팠어요. That's totally fine. You can say 어제 first. You could even say 저는 아팠어요. 어제는. Something like that. You could even put it at the end if you really wanted. It's not really appropriate for written formal language, but in speaking, people will move these words throughout the sentence and it still makes sense. You could even say 아팠어요. 저는 어제. You could say that. People would understand you. When it comes to writing a formal sentence, probably topic, then time words, but it's, again, fairly loose. You could very easily say 어제 저는 아팠어요. G. I will be busy on Friday. So this highlighted part indicates that we learned how to do this grammar form in level 1. So it requires you to remember what you did in level 1. Specifically, it's requiring you to use the particle, which we learned in level 1. The word for Friday has been provided, 금요일. 금요일 means Friday. Literally, it's gold day is Friday. And to say on Friday, you add to it. 금요일에. You can optionally add 는 here if you want, but it's optional. 금요일에 or 금요일에는. I will be busy. The verb to be busy is 바쁘다. Now, because you're not conjugating a grammar form starting with a or a, it's just a grammar form starting with you can just do a normal conjugation. The irregular verb conjugation does not happen because it doesn't start with a or a. So, 금요일에 바쁠 거예요. I will be busy on Friday. And H, I won't be busy on Saturday. This requires you to use the negative form for won't, which we learned in level 1 can be either 안 or 지 않다. Both of these answers are given in the back, so you can use either one. I won't be busy on Saturday. On Saturday uses a similar thing to before. 토요일 is Saturday, and then you add to say on Saturday. 금요일에 or 금요일에는, if you want to add the topic particle, you can. Adding the topic particle just adds some more emphasis or contrast. It's sort of saying as for Saturday, I'm not busy, but perhaps on other days, I am. So I have time on Saturday, but not on other days, is what you do if you add this topic particle. So 토요일에, I won't be busy. Let's do both. So the first one, if you use 지 않다, is 바쁘지 않다, and it's future tense, right? I won't be. 바쁘지 않을 거예요. So there's quite a lot going on here. You have 지 않다 and you have the future tense. What if you use 안? So if you use 안, this first part is the same. 토요일에 or 토요일에는. Now, if you do 안, that goes before, and then you add this after it. 안 바쁠 거예요. They both mean the same thing. 지 않다 is a little bit more common in writing, and 안 is a little bit more common in speaking, but they mean the same thing. Can you maybe explain the form because I joined late? Yeah, let's do a quick recap. So we're learning about irregular verbs, and these are verbs that end in this final vowel, like 아프다, 슬프다, 예쁘다, 바쁘다, etc. And then when you are conjugating these with a grammar form, specifically a grammar form starting with a and o. So this includes present tense, right? If you're putting these verbs into the present tense, what you do is you have to look at the grammar, the syllable in the second to last spot, and look at the vowel sound. If that vowel sound is a or o, then this one becomes a or o. And if it's only one syllable long, it always becomes 거예요. So it's a little bit tricky. It's kind of a lot of rules, but we did a bunch of practice, and if you do a little bit more, the vowel before is what you look at, and to determine whether you add ayo or ayo. Yes. Usually in almost basically every Korean conjugation, you always look at the final vowel sound. This is one situation where you look at the second to last vowel sound. Can we say 저 아빠? You mean 제 아빠? You can. You can say 제 아빠 It's just a little bit more formal, not quite as natural. And the disappears, yeah. It just replaces it. How do you know which one to use? So if this second to last vowel sound is a, or, so like apuda, or if it's o, like kopuda, it always becomes payo, ayo at the end. But if it ends in any other vowel sound, like or yeah, or things like that, then it becomes oyo. All right, hopefully that helps a little bit. We'll do a little bit more practice over here as well. Yeah. So here we're going to combine the irregular with to. To is a grammar form that we learned at the end of level 1. So we haven't actually got there yet in our level 1 live streams. But to essentially means only. Oh, sorry, also. Means also, or to, or as well. So when you add to a noun, it means also that noun. So here we're going to write sentences in Korean using the irregular that also use to, the also particle. Place the to particle on the bolded noun. So if we're going to say, I am also sick. So multiple people are sick, including myself. We add to the noun that means I, which in this case is 저. So 저도, good job. To understand lyrics in songs is tricky, so good job. 저도, I am also sick. 저도, to be sick, we know is 아파요. Comes from the verb 아프다. You can also say 나도 아파요. Yes, you can also say that. It's a little bit more casual. B, I am also hungry. So again, this is going to be 저도, right? Also me, 저도 hungry. Hungry is 배가 고프다. And when that becomes the present tense, it becomes 고파요, right? Because the second to last vowel sound is o. 고파요. Which workbook is this? This is the level 2 workbook. The level 2 workbook, this one right here. I am also hungry. C, my mom is also busy. My mom is also busy. So this time, the one we're attaching to is 우리 엄마. So 우리 엄마도. My mom also is busy. 바쁘다 is to be busy, and that becomes 바빠요 in the present tense. 우리 엄마도 바빠요. D, my friend is also tall. My friend, here you can really kind of use 우리 or 제. Maybe 제 is a little bit, it depends on the situation. 우리 친구 or 제 친구, 도. The do is still the same. 제 친구도. Oh, whoops, that's not going there. It's supposed to go after 친구. There we go. 우리 제 친구도, to be tall. Can I say 저도 배고파요? Yeah, that's fine. It is sometimes shortened to just 배고파요. That's also fine. 키가 커요. E, my cat is also pretty. So lots of cats are pretty, but my cat is pretty as well. 우리, the word for cat. Does anyone know what the word for cat is in Korean? 고양이, yes. 고양이 is cat. So 우리 고양이도 means also my cat. And to be pretty, To be pretty is the verb 예쁘다, right? But this we know is an irregular verb that becomes 예뻐요. 우리 고양이도 예뻐요. And now again, someone mentioned about 이쁘다. That's also commonly used nowadays. It's a little bit more of a modern word. I get cat and puppy confused. Yeah, they are a little bit similar, 고양이 and 강아지. They both sort of start with a G sound and end with an E sound. I can see that. 6. Here, we're going to combine the irregular with man. So man, we also learn in level 1. This is the only particle. It's used when you attach man to a noun. It means only that noun. So place man particle on the bolded noun. A. Only this flower is pretty. So of all the flowers that you see, only this one is pretty. Flower in Korean is 꽃. It looks a little crazy, but it's pronounced 꽃. And so 이 꽃 means this flower. Now to say only this flower, you attach man to the end. 이 꽃만, only this flower is pretty. 예뻐요. B. Only my dad is tall. Only my dad is tall. My dad is 우리 and then 아빠. 아빠 is dad. To say only my dad, you attach 만 to the end. 우리 아빠만. To be tall is 키가 크다. Now because this verb is only one syllable long, we don't have a second to last syllable to look at, so it always becomes 커요. 키가 커요. 을게요, and 거야 are just different ways of future tense, right? Yes, 을거예요 and 을거야 are the same. 을게요 is a little bit different, but it's still future tense related. You use 을게요 when you're saying like that you're going to do something kind of in a response to someone asking you or saying something. So like if someone's like, oh, like, you know, it's going to rain tomorrow, you're like, oh, okay, I'll bring an umbrella. Then you would use 을게요. It's like, yeah, oh, okay, I'll do this then, sort of thing. What books are these? This is the level 2 workbook. This is what the cover looks like. There's a series of them. Yeah, sure, no worries. And then 올 겁니다 is the honorific form. Hi, I'm new. What times do I go live? I go live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Mondays and Tuesdays. All right. C. Only Chris is hungry. Only Chris is hungry. Chris is the only person who is hungry. So Chris in Korean, there could be a couple ways to write this, I suppose, but usually it's romanized to Chris. Chris,만, or I see someone say Chris 씨만. Yeah, that's also really good. You've just added an honorific marker to his name to show that he's someone that you're respecting. Here, I'm not respecting Chris. I'm just saying Chris,만. But Chris 씨만 is also very appropriate if you're being a little bit more polite. So Chris,만 or Chris 씨만 is hungry. 배가. Now the verb here is 고프다. 고프다. And this final, the second to last vowel sound, I keep saying final vowel sound. The second to last vowel sound is O, so it becomes 고파요. Only Chris is hungry. Chris만 배가 고파요. D. I only write fiction. Or Chris Young, yeah. Or Chris Oppa, I suppose you could say too. Other options. I only write fiction. So fiction is sort of defined down here. It is 소설. 소설 is a fiction genre. So you can say 저는 if you like, it's optional. 저는 소설만. The verb to write is 쓰다. 쓰다 is only one syllable long, so it becomes 써요. 소설만, 써요. I only write fiction. And last, only I am busy these days. Other people are not busy, but I am busy. Only me is busy. So again, we're going to have we're talking about ourselves. 저만 means only me. 저만, only I or only me am busy these days. These days is 요즘. Now again, these time words are not set in stone. You can move them. You can say 요즘 저는 or 저만 요즘 or 요즘 저만. Both are fine. 바빠요. 바빠요 is busy. 저만 요즘 바빠요. Or 요즘 저만 바빠요. Did not know about the man particle. Yeah. The man particle is a super useful one and it's really easy to use. It's super easy to use, super intuitive. You just stick it on any noun and it means only that noun. Yeah. So it's a really easy, fun one to use. All right. So that brings us to the end of this chapter. There is also a dictation exercise, which I won't do in this live stream, but as always, if you get the book, highly recommend you do these dictation exercises. Question, which highlighters am I using? This brand looks like Vitola Hider. I don't even remember where I got these from. I'm not sure, but that's the brand if you like them. But this is, thank you, The Office. I'm glad you liked it. That brings us to the end of the irregular chapter. And as just a final recap, remember this applies to verbs that end with as a final vowel sound. And when you're conjugating them into the present tense, you have to look at the second to last vowel sound in order to know how to conjugate them. Rosie, do you teach online? Just with these live streams, this is sort of my online classes. This is what we have, and I do them regularly and you can always join. I'm going to level 2, almost level 3. Awesome, so awesome. 그만해 means stop. Is it just 그 plus that man only 해? That is an excellent question. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask. You know, the other day I was looking at this word. This is a tangent, but this word here means this year, right? 올해 means this year. And I was like, is that, 해 means year. It's similar to 년 is 해. And then 올, is that like coming, will come year? And I was like, is it? And I'm like, I don't know. And I actually asked Eugen and she was like, I don't know either. But I thought that was funny. That's not related, but anyway. Where can I get those exercises to print them? You can get the PDF from our website and then you can print the PDF. So if you get the PDF, you can print them from there. The full book is almost 200 pages, but you can always pick and choose different lessons to print if you like. Or you can get the whole book too, that's also an option, depending on what you like. Yeah, this is the book cover. People were asking what it's called. It's called the Level 2 Workbook. It is part of a series. This is Level 2. We also have a Level 1 book that I go through on Mondays. We have a Level 3 book, and we also are coming out with a Level 4 book very soon, within the next couple of weeks. Next live will be next Monday. On Monday, I'm going to be doing Level 1 again. Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Do these books cover all of the topic contents? They cover everything from topic level 1 and 2. They don't cover everything from levels 3, 4, 5, and 6. Do you have any recommendations for beginners? If you're a beginner, particularly a complete beginner, I recommend first starting to learn and write. That's the most important thing. Learn how to read and write Hangul, the alphabet, and then I would recommend getting the textbook. So the textbook will take you through, start right at the beginning, go through the introduction, and this will give you a really good introduction to the foundations of Korean language, ways that it's different from English that you should know about. Can you buy it online? Yes, this book and all of our books are available on TikTok Shop, they're available on Amazon, and we also sell them through our website as well. What time do you give classes? Classes are on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Do you have topic level 3, 4, 5, and 6 materials? We have, throughout our 5 levels that we have in our book, we cover probably 80% of topics level 3, 4, 5, and 6. Not 100%, but we probably cover pretty close to it. But it's kind of we've kind of picked and choose the ones that we think are most useful to learn, the most commonly used ones. Sometimes there's stuff on particularly level 5 and 6 in topic that just are really never used, so we didn't really include those. Were you live yesterday because I was late? Yeah, I was live yesterday, but it was a short one. The one yesterday was only about 30 minutes, so it was a short one yesterday. The other thing also is that I do post the live streams on YouTube. So if you miss one or if you want to rewatch one, you can always go find us on YouTube, Goose Apple Books, and you can watch the recordings there if you want. And yeah, thank you guys so much. How long are your lives? It depends how long the lesson takes. The lives are usually just between 30 minutes to an hour. Awesome, yeah. YouTube is Goose Apple Books. That's our YouTube handle. You'll find us there. You'll have a full list of the live streams that I've done. You can go check. I haven't posted Monday's one yet. I'll probably post both today's and Monday's one tomorrow. Yeah, 감사합니다. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Hope you had a good time. As always, if you want to check out our books, come to our website and check them out. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday, a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you again on Monday if you want to come back and learn some more. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye.